This is One on One. You can't keep her off public television. We got her back. She is Karen Hunter, Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist, host of Karen Hunter Show, Sirius XM Radio, 3 to 6 p.m. every day. How you doing, my friend?
I am awesome. I am really awesome.
By the way, every time I check out your show or are lucky enough to be on your show, the conversation is compelling, an overused word, but true, provocative, and makes people think. What are you trying to do?
Change the world, make it better than I found it.
Yeah.
Isn't that all of our? Shouldn't we all be trying to do that?
That's the conversation you and I had the other day,
Yeah.
so I'm going to get right into it. When I was doing Karen's show, we were like, hey, why is it that it seems so hard for us, even if we have different political points of view, which you and I have on some things, we agree on others, to be civil and respectful to each other? Why is it so darn hard?
I don't know. I think people aren't being raised. You know, you and I are same generation. There were expectations in our homes. Our families probably ate dinner together. You know, there was conversation. I know I couldn't bring home anything less than a B. I know that I had to say please and thank you. If my mother called me, I couldn't say what. That my whole mouth area would be someplace else.
Understood.
What? Just if I forgot and said what, that was a problem. And you know, there was a level of decorum where you knew how to behave outside of the home, you know, as well. You know, we kind of knew the rules. Today, I think people aren't raised. I think they're not raising children. They're raising friends and probably coddling too much because they feel bad. And, you know, we're not challenging our young people and our older people to be better.
So when it came to the question of, or comes to the question of political discourse, which you and I discussed, I said to you, and I'll say it here, that one of the struggles I have is that there are a fair number of friends I have back in Jersey, which you know better than most, right, who are supportive of Donald Trump, and that's their right. It's a beautiful thing about this country. And that's not the issue. The issue is you cannot get into a discussion with many of my friends, and you know who you are, family, others. Because if you raise an issue that's not even political, but it's about name-calling, it's about misogyny, it's about calling a woman a name by her based on her physical appearance, by mocking someone, ridiculing someone's war record and saying they're not a hero, and just the horrible things that are said. And I said, you know, we would, if our sons or daughters acted that way, we know what we would do. And they're like, oh, that's just talk. I'm into the policy. You say? You know what I'm talking about. Don't look at me like,
I'm saying,
they'll say that's just him talking.
Right. And even if that were the case, right? Like, the president is the statesman, right? He's the representation of America, right? Not just here, but to the world.
That's
and we're
right.
seeing how that's playing out right now, how the world sees us as a result of a president who has no decorum, no humanity, very little humanity, no self-awareness, thinks he's the smartest person in the room, which if you think that, you're already, you know, behind. Because, you know, one of the great things about being really smart is knowing that you don't know a lot, right? That there's so much that you don't know.
You ask a lot of questions, you're curious.
So that you could pull a lever and support not just the behavior, Steve, it's beyond the behaviors, the representation of America. Is this who we are? And so that's the question that I put on the table.
And the other part of this, because your audience is a mixed, diverse audience, but urban.
Urban, whatever that is. Yeah, let's say black.
Urban.
Let's say black.
I'm from Newark. I could say urban, but it is disproportionately black.
Yeah.
Do you think that Donald Trump, as our president, he is our president, has any meaningful ability to connect with the African-American community?
I don't think he has any meaningful ability to connect with anybody with a soul, right? So even people who support him, I have to ask them, how's your health care? You know, are your steel jobs really coming back? The coal jobs, are they coming back? These tariffs, how are they impacting farmers? We have to subsidize, and then there's a negative backlash, you know, because we're subsidizing farmers. Now other things are faltering.
Hold on, Karen. Sorry for interrupting. You're not saying that if someone voted for or supportive of Donald Trump, they quote unquote do not have a soul.
I'm saying that you're not paying attention to the things that may matter to you, right? Unless you're the 1% and you need a tax break for your jet, because that's who's really benefiting, right? So inheritance taxes and things like that, right? You own corporations. You're doing really well. Actually, I'm doing well financially. My accountant said next year you're going to do well. This is going to be a great year for you. And I'm like, good. But I still think that there are more important things in my bottom line. And so if your bottom line is the most important thing to you, I'm going to question your soul and your humanity. I just have to.